Hello, folks. I'd like to speak to you about the Southern Song Dynasty official Imperial Guan Xiuneisi inner kiln wares. Uh, these wares are the finest wares that were produced in the Guan kilns. Uh, they were very fine with a glossy colored glaze and translucent, and they were treasured by everyone in the court. Um, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to show you some examples of these wares. And this is one example here. This is an arrow vase, and you can see it has a very glossy, beautiful finish on this piece. And these pieces were uh, very thinly potted, and they put several coats of glaze on these pieces. Uh, and you'll be able to see that on most of the wares where the glaze actually pooled at the bottom, very thick. You can see on the edges here. And they used very fine clay. Uh, it's like a reddish brown clay. And this is an official mark from that kiln. And you can see here very clearly how thick the glaze is. And these wares were just absolutely exquisite wares. And when they set up this kiln, they were driven out of the Northern Sung Dynasty and went south to Hangzhou province, and 1127 they set up the Southern Sung Dynasty there. So these were the official court wares that were used by the imperial court, and they have a very translucent glaze, and you can actually see the bubbles in the glaze if you look close. Uh, there's some bubbles in the glaze, and uh, crackle is pretty similar on these pieces. And you can see here where it thinned out around the rim and along the edge of the piece here. And then you can see here the reddish uh, biscuit. And this is an official, this means official for the Guan kiln. And I'll move down here. And I want to show you this. This is another vase, but this piece has the copper bands, gilded copper bands, and you can see the corrosion on there. There's reddish cuprite and then greenish malachite. And I'm going to click into this. You can see the bottom here very clearly. You can see the corrosion. And here's what it looks like under magnification. And I want to show you this cannot be faked. in any way. It only happens in nature, and what happens is the gilting on the copper bands is porous, and over time, a long time, like 900 years, it seeps through the pores, the corrosion from the copper bands, and it creates the cuprite and the malachite formations growing on top of the cuprite, and this cannot be faked. I just want to show you this. Uh, Here is a company. They here's their website, and this is where you can see the complete video. But I'm just going to play this video. It's a small portion, and you can understand how this can't be faked, and it proves that these pieces are completely authentic. It's probably the best proof you could possibly have.
This is the scale of it, right? Could you tell us what bubbles, right?
They look like bubbles. The technical term for them is botryoids, but that's one of the ways that malachite and azurite crystals can form is in these little spheres or globules. And I have not been able to find any evidence that this can be recreated in a lab. You see the small scale is 1 millimeter scale bar at the bottom. And so when I find these things, it's a good indication that this patina is something that took a long time to create, not something that was applied or created in the lab.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh, and this one?
Same thing in azurite. These little nodules.
The nodules, yes.
Sorry that I did not include a scale bar with that, but I would expect it to be very similar to the previous slide.
Yeah.
And when you find these things on the surface of your patina, again, it's a very good indication.
Okay, that's from this company, and they're in business to authenticate bronze and copper objects, ancient objects, and I'll move back up here again, and show you a few more of these pieces close up. This is a beautiful piece. You can see you can actually see almost see the bubbles in the glaze right there, and this piece is exquisite, and you can see how thinly potted the piece was, and you can see the pooling of the glaze here, where they use several applications of the glaze, and they will put the glaze on, fire it, and then put more glaze on and then refire it, and that's how these pieces came out so wonderful. Here's another piece here. And this shows the thickness of the glaze on the bottom here. And the Xiuneisi kiln refers to the Department of Palace Supply. That's what a lot of these marks are referring to, and they're official marks. I'll move down here, show you some more pieces. And you can see how thick the glaze is there. Now it's pulled on the base. These pieces are absolutely exquisite. You can't miss them because they have this reddish clay that they used on these wares, and these are the ones that the best wares they produced. This dark brownish reddish clay. And here, this piece here, it shows the cupright and malachite. You can't miss that on the corrosion. Here's another one. Shows the corrosion in this piece. This piece, it doesn't look as though they applied the glaze is thick. They were going for about a different look. So the glaze is not as thick on these tan wares. And I've shown this previously. Absolutely exquisite wares. These are the finest wares that the Guan wares that were produced in the court. I just want to show you one more piece, and that's the first one here. Now this is an opaque, it's not translucent, it's opaque. And this is very, very similar to what they sold in Sotheby sold in Hong Kong for $14 million. This type of glaze, and you can see how this. They tried to make wares similar to roux wares, but they didn't have the mixtures right or anything, and this is what the closest they could get to the roux wares. They couldn't get rid of the crackle completely. It's just a magnificent piece. So that's basically what I have to show you here. You can come to my website and you can see these pieces up close and be able to, recognize the best gun wares that they produced, and hope this helps you to be able to authenticate your wares. Thank you for watching the video.